In the meantime, we are going to continue with our lineup of talks that we have for the day. We have with us today Miss Deirdre Lowe. We're very privileged to have her with us. She's a retired accountant, and she, together with a co-founder, Miss Helen, actually established Caring with You way back in 2017, which is a center dedicated to catering for patients with dementia as well as their caregivers. While the centers are no longer operating due to COVID, temporarily for now, she nonetheless has a passion for raising awareness in dementia as well as stemming the stigma around it and promoting a higher level of dementia awareness in the country. And this is especially relevant to us who are in orthopedics because, quite frankly, we're seeing a greater number of falls and fragility fractures in the elderly, and it's important for us to be able to adopt a holistic as well as multidisciplinary approach towards our patients. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to pass the time over to Ms. Deirdre Lowe.
Okay, good morning, honorable guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Professor Dr. Tunku Sarah, Dr. Nick Aizan Nabila, and the organizing team, the Department of Orthopedic Surgery and National Orthopedic Center of Excellence and Learning for inviting me today to NOCERAL Day 2020. As Sheena said, I am neither a professor nor a doctor, nor a person from any medical profession. Thus, it is indeed an honor for an opportunity to address you, the graduates of 2019 and 2020 of the esteemed NOCERAL Master's Program on this very proud and auspicious day. You must be wondering why a person with dementia knowledge is here speaking at an orthopedic graduation ceremony. I only know a little on the diseases that affect the brain, and you have all the education and training in limbs and bones. Regardless, I think we do have two commonalities. Firstly, brains or limbs, they are still parts of our complex human anatomy. And as you know, when one part fails, another part is also affected. Your ability to connect with people will become the biggest difference in their trust, respect, and confidence in you as their healer. Although I will be sharing with you the Caring with You approach to dementia care, the key principles in our approach can be applied during the course of your personal life and definitely with your future patients. With this, let me share my brief slides with you. And yes, I am extremely nervous, okay? I'm normally communicating with people with impaired brain functionalities, but today I'm with super intelligent people. So bear with me. Is my screen being shared? Yes, I hope so. Let me know if not. Before talking about your screen is shared. Oh, thank you. Before talking about the approach that my co-founder and I developed, let me share with you a story on how it all began. Once upon a time, prior to 2014, there was this lady who was super efficient, well organized, financially savvy, independent, had a career as well as manage her whole household. She could cook, bake, sew, drive, sing, read novels, chase dramas. She's a loving mother and a doting grandmother, sociable and fun, confident and vivacious. Then, in 2014, her mild cognitive impairment advanced into moderate dementia. For the next 2 years, she became aggressive, verbally abusive, kept wanting to go home, waking at odd hours, and very unmanageable. She was always being scolded by her daughters for talking rubbish and not being logical. She had limited social engagement as her family felt it was a waste of time since she cannot remember anyway. Without understanding more, when doctors prescribed antipsychotic meds to calm her, the family accepted. The side effects were hallucinations, loss of cognitive functions, she stopped speaking, apathy and depression set in. Look at her sad, dull eyes and sullen nature. Then, in 2017, Caring With You Center opened its doors, and Ying was its first client. See the difference in her after just 3 months at the center. See the sparkle in her eyes and the wholesome laughter. In time, she did not need her antipsychotic drugs. So why am I telling you this story? That's because Choi Wo Ying is my mom. This is a story of how out of a daughter's desperation, what she couldn't find, she created a center with passion and love to give her mother quality of life. I saw real happy persons with dementia in Australia and wanted mom and more persons to have the same. This is the reason why Caring With You was established. You will notice that the acronym for Caring With You, CWY, is also the acronym for my mother, Choi Wo Ying. But more than that, we do not care for your loved ones like a babysitting center, but we care with families, as they are the key pillar in the continuum of care, as many more hours are spent at home than at the center. Now, a center is just brick and mortar. It means nothing without the software. This software for Caring With You is its approach in delivering dementia care. It has been developed after much training in very many dementia care courses. It took into consideration our Asian upbringing, multiracial, multilingual, multicultural Malaysia, and to provide what was missing. So very, very briefly, what is Caring With You approach? Believe me, it is not rocket science, but it is a lot to do with human connection. Caring With You believes that any form of rehab must come from within a person. They themselves must want to reach out and engage. It is Caring With You's goal to make our facilitators so irresistible, not physically, but their whole presence, including verbal and body language. And the activities have to be so meaningful and purposeful to persons with dementia that they are attracted and want to engage. So how does one ignite this enthusiasm from within a person? There are 4 elements, and they are delivered simultaneously and continuously at Caring With You in everything we do. Firstly, caring for someone is not a job. It has to come from the heart. It has to be unconditional and given freely without any judgment. Our actions and language all convey heartfelt care, concern, and love. Secondly, we recognize and respect individuality. This is termed person-centered. We see each person for their own abilities, skills, interests, personal style, family dynamics, their values, and their purpose. We step into their shoes and experience their reality in managing their fears, anxiety, and behaviors. Thirdly, with knowing a person, we then tailor programs that ensure success. They are praised for their achievements, regardless how small, and thanked for their wisdom and advice as we facilitate conversational topics to their interest and experience. Their confidence grows, and they feel useful and not a burden. And finally, we aid by grouping them appropriately to enable social interaction and communication and engagement. Being multiracial, they need to speak the same language or dialect, be from similar education background, with same values and social standing, same interests, and nearly the same character. This is to create kindred spirits. These 4 elements will naturally result in bringing happiness in a person. Happiness is the fuel that ignites a person from within. What is this? Because I'm speaking to all of you from the medical profession, I thought perhaps you may be able to grasp the caring with you approach to happiness if I try to address the signs of it. In all we do, caring with you, we are trying to release the 4 happy hormones. Endorphins, through structured exercise to maintain ADLs, as well as enjoyable physical activities. Lots and lots of laughter and chatting, reminiscing, and of course through music. Dopamine, boosting their self-esteem and make them feel appreciated. Praising them for their accomplishments, past and present. Serotonin, seek their esteemed advice, from choosing of a car to decision on a boyfriend. Requesting their assistance in baking, sewing, gardening, doing art and craft for charity. They just need to feel useful and inclusive in society. And finally, oxytocin. Caring with you's team, shine our love as we care. Our clients have made human connections and bonded through social interaction. We are Asian, so the hugging is less spontaneous, but believe me, they all want their hands to be held. With your high level of research background, I'm sure you would like to know the statistics to prove these impacts. At no time has caring with you subjected our clients to be measured for research, thus we don't have empirical evidence. Instead, we can only show you what we have observed and what families have observed. Here are some examples. Lots of happy, smiling faces, sparkling eyes and laughter. They may not remember each other's names, but as they reconnect with their sense of identity, they allow themselves to trust, build friendships, and develop human bonding. Besides maintaining cognitive functions, which families are very concerned about, the reading, writing, maths, fine motor skills, the most fulfilling is when we are able to reconnect lost abilities. May they be artists, pianists, dancers, florists, seamstress, and many more lost skills. And finally, with our training, counseling, and their own observation of the increased happiness of their loved ones, families have progressively bonded more and strived to give quality time to their loved ones. They have adapted and changed their expectations and learned how to speak the dementia language. Why have I shared the Caring with You story and our approach with you? It is not so much to share with you on dementia, though you may come across persons with dementia in the course of your profession or your personal life. I shared our story because the past 4 years have been more fulfilling to me than the prior 40 years as a successful and too busy corporate player. Had someone shared with me in my 30s what I'm going to share with you, it may have changed my management style, my purpose in life, being a more understanding and happier person, and made time for the people in my life. So, graduates, as you embark on your new journey, try and infuse these few aspects into your lives. Never give up. I was in comfort zone for many years, but was suddenly thrown a curveball that turned my life upside down. I could have sat back and accept the 10 to 15 years of my life as a miserable 24/7 caregiver to mom. But instead, I wanted quality of life for mom and myself. Thus, I had to venture into an area I knew nothing about, and create what I desperately needed as it was not available. I know you have already strived so hard for so many years to be here today at your graduating ceremony. But don't let your dreams and goals end here, nor let disappointments damper your spirits. Keep searching for new rainbows and strive for them with passion and courage. Be person-centric and less transactional. As an accountant, doing everything transactional is second nature. I never took the time to see any business colleague or associate as individuals. I had no clue if they were married, had kids, had financial issues. Surgeons, please heartfully connect with your patients as well as their families. They are entrusting a life, their future mobility in your hands. Put yourself in their shoes and treat them as you would if they were your own spouse, parent, sibling, child, and not just a job. Spend time to explain the procedure and impacts. I am stressing this for very selfish reasons. We baby boomers, where 6% of us will have dementia, are looking up to you to treat us as our bodies start to fail. Please see us as individuals. Rehab comes from within. A person must believe and want to get better. The best and most authoritative person to overcome a patient and their family's fear and insecurities is you, the specialist. Give them your assurance, boost their confidence, build their trust, release the happy hormones while you still deliver what you do best professionally. I would have been a more understanding leader had I spent time with my team in creating more happy hormones. And finally, social interaction, engagement and bonding with friends and family. If not for the encouragement and support of my friends and family, I couldn't have made the first steps and have the courage to push the boundaries to what dementia care should be. Being in the medical profession, your hours will be long and high stress, but please make time to connect and bond with your family and friends. They will be there to celebrate with you new milestones, as well as be there to carry you when you need them. Just make time. All of you here today will be the trailblazers for the new Malaysia. And you can and will make a difference in our society. So, thank you and congratulations again. We are very proud of you.
Thank you so much, Miss Deirdre, for that wonderful personal insight into what it's like into what it's like for a person who has to care for someone with dementia, as well as the fact that, when a person has dementia, not all is lost, and that we as orthopedic surgeons, we're still called to see people as people and not just as persons with fractures. Thank you for reminding us that there are patients with a heart, with a mind, with a family, with friends, and that we're called to look at them as this, and that our role is really in enabling them to live the most full, to live the most quality life.
Thank you.
So for those of you who are interested to know more about dementia, do feel free to get in touch with Ms. Deirdre, who wants to know how best they can cater their approach to dealing with elderly patients with fractures as well as dementia. And another useful resource would also be this book. It is a book called Still Alice, and it was written by Lisa Genova, and it details the fictional story of an academic professor who was diagnosed with early onset dementia. So this is also useful reading for those of you who really want to get into the mind of how it's like for a patient with dementia, as well as how it's like for their caregivers. All right. I just want to shout out to all those who are watching. We're getting more and more people coming on. I see Dr. Shams is also admitting to his current PJ situation. I also see we have joining us this morning, we've got Dr. Said Alsagov, the Asia Pacific Orthopedic Association Vice President. Amazing that we've got so many people joining us today. I can't shout out everyone, otherwise it's going to take up a good 20 to 30 minutes or so. In case you don't know, I am Sheena. I am a final year master's student in orthopedics, and I am your host for today's NOCERAL Day.